of the show.
Hey, what's up, peeps? My name is Lachlan Monroe. You're watching Vinny and Skip on the Best Damn Movie Show on YouTube.com.
Happy New Year and welcome to another edition, a brand new edition, a 2015 edition of the Best Damn Movie Show. I'm your host, Vincent. My partner in crime, Skip, will join us next week for a second edition of the Best Damn Movie Show. We are going to be starting our advanced screenings next week to kick it off. So I'm very excited to see the very first movie we're going to go see. I will get to them later on. We have 4 movies, as I can recall, for next week. I'll get to them later. But 2014 has gone and passed. And if you're part of the bestdaymovieshow.com and friend us on Facebook, you saw my lists of 2014 worst and best movies, plus my top 5 animated movies of the year. And if you didn't, I like to go over them with you. Just give you a rundown of what I think and how I got my list together. So let's get into my list of 2015. These are the movies that I did not enjoy. Some on here I wanted to see and some I didn't want to see. Let's start with, at number 15, we have Men, Women, and Children. This one starring Jennifer Garner, and it has a small, well, I wouldn't say small, it does star Adam Sandler, but he's not the main star in this film. He's kind of like the co-star. But this one, it talks about how a mother takes their kids' lives and makes sure it's in a shell by trying to figure out and trying to know everything they do in their lives by controlling them. This one, it started out good. It started really pissing me off because of the way it was. A really shocking movie, but one of the third worst movies I've seen Adam Sandler played. The first one with Punch Drunk Love, and the other one was Reign Over Me. So these are the 3 movies that I do not like about Adam Sandler. At number 14, we have Calvary. This one's starring Brendan Gleeson and Chris O'Donnell. I was very shocked about this because it's kind of one of those movies where they tell you in the beginning, the whole story, and it actually falls into place as it goes. They pretty much give away the spoiler in the beginning of the movie, and I just didn't like that. I'm not going to say it was a shocking movie because I knew that it was going to go this way. At number 13, we have Draft Day, starring Kevin Costner. Now, this movie, I passed it up twice for advanced screenings. It didn't look like something that I wanted to see for the fact that it's about, draft day and what goes on when NFL teams are looking to draft new players that are coming out of college. Not that I don't like that, but I'm a sports person, but I'm not into the fantasy football and following the people from college. I like the Gators, and I'm more into like pro basketball. I like watching the Magic. I like watching the Cavaliers from Cleveland, but the whole thing about Kevin Costner, and he's in charge of the Cleveland Browns, which is kind of a coincidence that I like the Cavaliers, and he's the GM of the Cleveland Browns. It didn't go for me. I felt like it lacked the story, and other people think I'm crazy, but that's just my opinion. At number 12, we have Lucy. This one starring Scarlett Johansson. Like I said, I was very excited to go see this movie, and some of the movies on this list, they were hyped for me to go, and I saw the previews. I enjoyed the previews and I want to see it. But Lucy starring Scarlett Johansson, not so much. This movie's about how you can take the whole entire mind and body and turn it into this ulti-power thing and use 100% of your brain. I just thought it was full of shit. I just thought it was a load of crap. And I'm not saying that she's not a good actress, because she is. But just the movie itself and the screenplay was just garbage. At number 11, Dolphin Tales 2. I didn't really see the first one. I actually saw the first one after I saw the second one. But it's a movie about wildlife and dolphins, and I just I'm not saying that I'm a fan or I don't like animals. I do. I just don't see why Morgan Freeman would sign on to a second one to do the same story pretty much in the first one, but add some twists and turns and things like that. It just didn't do anything for me. I'm glad I saw it for free. I think if I paid the money to go see it, I'd be very pissed off. At number 10, we have Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. This one's starring Gary Oldman. This one's 10 years after the fact. The apes are trying to battle the humans. How can I put this? I don't like silent films. Maybe about 20-30 minutes of this movie was all silent. The apes started to talk maybe halfway through the movie. I've never been a fan of Planet of the Apes, so it just wasn't there for me. I don't know why. I just can't get into them. But this movie, again, lacks the confidence that I had for it. Okay, number 8 is Expendables 3. This one's starring, this is another movie by Sylvester Stallone. You have Jet Li in this film. You have Antonio Banderas, Arnold Schwarzenegger. The two people I do not understand why they put in the movie were Mel Gibson and Harrison Ford. I just felt like, the first one came out, I enjoyed it, I thought it was a good movie, but then they started doing a second and third one. I just felt like, who can we get as old movie stars, old TV stars, like number 2, they had Chuck Norris. From Walker, Texas Ranger. Who could we get as an old action star that would come in and play this badass character? And they pretty much got all the action stars from the 80s and 90s and put them in these movies. That's all it was. Not to say there wasn't a lot of action, but it was just one big letdown. At number 2, Sin City, I Roam to Kill. From the beginning of the year, I've been wanting to see this movie. And it just took a big dive. It was horrible. They actually pulled it back to fix the special effects, and I felt like that ruined the movie. At number 7, you have Tom Cruise in Edge of Tomorrow. Repeating. I can't get into it. Don't show me the same footage over and over again 17 times. It just doesn't work for me. I just felt like the story was garbage. At number 6, Into the Woods. And I can't say I like movies that have singing into it. I like Broadway movies. I like Jersey Boy. I like Annie. But Into the Woods, there was just too much singing. Way too much singing. I think there was only 25 to 30 minutes of dialogue in this whole entire movie. I really do. At number 5, Jim Carrey, Jeff Daniels, Dumb and Dumber 2, and it's just like the title is, Dumb and Dumber. It does keep getting dumber. They didn't have to wait almost 20 years, and they actually make fun of it in the movie, which is kind of ironic that they make fun of themselves, that they waited 20 years for them to actually make this film. That's pretty sad. And Jeff Daniels, he just got off making, he just did The Newsroom on HBO, the season finale. Jim Carrey does a movie every 2 or 3 years. I just didn't think it worked. I just thought the humor was stupid. I thought the jokes were dumb. I just couldn't stand it. At number 4, we have The Hunger Games, Mockingjay Part 1. If you've been following the Best in Movie Show for a while, you already know I'm not a big fan of The Hunger Games or those books. I never was. I compare it to like the Twilight series. I just think I just don't understand it. It's just a stupid concept for a movie. At number 3, we have The Signal, starring Lance Fishburne. You might know him as in The Matrix. as the guy with the black sunglasses. Would you like to take the blue pill or the red pill? I just thought the movie. I just thought it was really dumb. I just thought the concept was stupid. The whole space suit, whole underground thing, it just garbage. Lawrence Fishburne, if you're trying to make your career, man, this is not the way. At number 2, we have Divergent, another movie just like Hunger Games, just like Twilight. I mean, it's these teeny bopper films that just don't know how to stay away. They're making these films for these young teenagers, but they just don't know how to make a good story, to make it make sense. They always have to make it futuristic and things that don't make sense to kids these days and go 30 years in the future. You can't go to what we are now. That's the problem with these movies. And at number 1, I think this is at number 1 a lot of people. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, starring Megan Fox, produced by Michael Bay. You know what? There's a lot of things I can talk about this. I'm not going to go too much in depth with it. I didn't like Shredder. I didn't like how the Turtles looked. I didn't like how Splinter was a UFC fighter. I didn't like how they roughed up the character of Avery O'Neil. I don't like how the foot soldiers look like actual U.S. Marines. Shredder looked like half Jack Sparrow, half Freddy Krueger. It just didn't make sense to me. It's just that they bring back these remakes of movies because there's a whole new generation. Just stop. Let that generation watch what I watched as a kid. There's a thing called a library. There's a thing called Netflix. There's a thing called Redbox. Maybe not Blockbuster no more, but there's digital copies. Let them watch it. Let them go out and figure it out on their own. Hey, when we come back here on the Best in Movie Show, we're going to get into my top 15 favorite movies of 2014, and we're going to review Wild and Big Eyes. So stick around. You're watching the Best in Movie Show right here on YouTube.com.